Lupita.
Hi.
So while driving here this morning on Sunset Strip, I saw the huge billboard of the movie with your face on it, with you, holding the mask and, the face of your doppelganger. And so, you play two versions of the same character. How did you prepare for each of them?
Well, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, but it was about figuring out who these people were separately, and then also figuring out how they were connected. It took a lot of physical preparation, having a very, very specific physical vocabulary for both of them. So for Adelaide, she was a dancer, and so I took dance classes, and so that I could have remnants of that in her body. And for Red, Jordan described her as a queen and a cockroach. So I observed a lot of cockroaches. And it was about the stillness that both a queen and a cockroach have, but also the surprise, the scurry of a cockroach, that can change direction real quickly and stuff like that. So that kind of vocabulary was very helpful. And then also just the vocal work for Red, and just having an emotional, physical, and mental vocabulary that was completely distinct for both characters.
About the vocal, was it hard for you to have this, rough voice when playing Red?
Yes, it was. But it was one of the greatest joys of my career to develop that. I was inspired by the condition spasmodic dysphonia, which is a condition that is caused by a trauma, and it can be emotional, it can be physical. It's really quite inexplicable. Is often what causes it, but it's a collision of the vocal cords that creates this kind of involuntary spasm in the voice. And so I was inspired by that, and I built her vocals from that.
So did you on set, did you have to switch from one character to another very often?
Yes, I mean, it was a technical feat to make this film. What would often happen is I would play one character on one day and then switch and play the other side the next. There were some instances where I had to play both characters within the same day. But the whole makeup process and everything like that, I mean, it's an 80s nightmare to try and figure out how to get the same actors to do two jobs.
And was it hard for you to, switch from,
Well, no, I mean, the whole thing was a challenge, but it was kind of like I had to develop a technical mechanism to switch from one to another. It was formulaic. I had to create a formula for both characters. So my ritual, my preparation was very deliberate and kind of mathematical in getting from one character to the other. And once I'd figured out my formula, then it was, there was an elasticity with how I could switch from one to the other.
Do you remember what you thought when you read the script the first time?
I thought, whoa, two characters? That's amazing. And then I thought, okay, what is this movie about? Because the way Jordan writes, I mean, I went on the ride, and it's like you're tense, you're worried for this family, they're going through their worst nightmare, you have no idea how it's gonna turn out, and then, and then the script just takes these turns that you're just so surprised by. But I could tell the whole time that there was more than met the eye. I knew there was layers to it, so it took talking to Jordan to really figure those layers out, and that got me even more excited when I realized it's not just surface value, make everyone scream, there's a lot he's unpacking in this film.
So are we the monsters?
Are we?
Yeah.
You tell me.